Good morning.
First thing I want to know is where do I get my argon gas injection? Because like I love that. You know, when I think of McDaniel Window and Door Company, or when I think of windows and doors, McDaniel Window and Door Company is the very only window and door company that come to mind. And, you know, I've shared that with Mike, and you start asking yourself, you know, in my business as a realtor, when people think of real estate, I want to be the guy they think of. And so I try to ask myself, and I'm here this morning, you know, to see your sales meeting and study, because, and the main reason for that is because I want to be better. And I think that we can all learn from each other regardless from the industry. And I learned some things this morning, just watching you guys have sales meeting, and I've learned several things this morning that I think I can take back, I know I can, and apply to my business. The number one difference, I guess, between your business and my business would be that people call me up and say, hey Mike, you know, we're thinking about making a move. There's no guarantee they're going to make a move, but I may go and invest my time with those people and show them houses, do a market analysis on their home, and they may not do anything, okay? But that's a lot of part of the business, okay? With you guys, when somebody walks in the door there, I'd say what, over 90% of people that walk in your door are probably going to buy windows and doors from somebody, or hardware or something, right? And when people call in to your office, would you say over 90% of those people are going to buy from somebody? So our leads there's a lot of difference between my leads in real estate and your leads in the window and door business. If there are sticks going up over there and with holes in them, they're going to put windows in there from somebody. So now it's just a matter of how can I get those people to decide to do business with us. We've got 5.5 months left in 2011. And I want to share with you just two things this morning that I believe will help you guys and help me too be the best that we can be the rest of the next 5.5 months to close out the year as strong as we can. The number one thing, I'm going to share a story with you. Two shoe salespeople get on an airplane and fly to a third world country. The first salesperson gets off the plane, and he looks around and nobody's wearing shoes. So he gets on his satellite phone, he calls back to the plant. You guys need to stop everything, make arrangements to get me back to the States. Nobody's wearing shoes here. Second salesperson gets off the plane. He looks around, nobody's wearing shoes. He picks up the phone, dials the plant, send everything you got. Nobody is wearing shoes. So the first salesperson saw it as an obstacle, and the second salesperson saw it as an opportunity. I think that's the decision we have to make, and I believe it is a decision. Are we going to see each situation as an obstacle or as an opportunity? I'll give you another example of that. We recently went to my niece's graduation in Dallas, and I got busy, as we all do before we go out of town, and you have things you want to get done. One of the things I wanted to get done before we left, I was way overdue for an oil change and tire rotation and all that. You know, it's one thing to be overdue and be 50, 60, 75 miles here in town, but when you know you're going on a 600-mile trip, you're like, oh, man, I'm already up past due. I got to get that done. So I'd already shared with the family, we're going to stop somewhere between here and Dallas and, you know, get the oil changed and all that. So Greenville, Texas. We walk I pull up to a Chevrolet dealership, and I get out of the car and I walk in. Guy comes out, there was nobody at the counter. Guy walks out of the back. I'll be waiting a minute. I said, man, this is going to be good, you know. So then I waited around, you know. I try to be glass half full kind of guy. I thought he's having a bad day. I'm just going to bear with him. So then the guy comes back. How can I help you? I said, well, we're traveling. I'd like to see if I could, you got, you know, $29.95 out here for oil change service. I'd like to get that done if we could. Well, I got two mechanics out to lunch. Got a guy back here in the back. It's 3 or 4 ahead of you. I don't know when we can get to you. I said, tell you what, man, you know, I appreciate it. I appreciate you being straightforward with me. I'm going to just go see if I can find someone else, you know, to help me. Y'all have a great day. And I got back in the car. And of course, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, how is this place even in business? That's my first question. Number two, I'm thinking, does the owner of this dealership know that guy saw me as an obstacle? Okay? I'm there trying to spend my money They saw me as an obstacle. 50 miles down the road, I stopped in Rockwall, Texas at a Chevrolet dealership. I pull up, they're $39.95, okay? So it's more. I'm already thinking, man, I'm now spending $10 more. I walk in, hey man, how you doing? What's going on? What can we do to help you? Well, we're wanting to get an oil change. Great, man, I appreciate it. Let me get a clipboard. He grabs a clipboard. Hey, we really appreciate you stopping in. What's your name and, where you from, blah, 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 blah. He fills out all the application. He sees my kids, my wife in the car. Hey, first he told me just pull my vehicle right up in the bay. Pulled me right up in there. And, man, there were people. I mean, everybody was friendly. There was a lot of energy and excitement and positive energy. The guy basically says, y'all want to wait in the waiting room? I said, actually, is there a restaurant that we can eat at while you guys, we haven't had lunch. It was like 2:30, 3 o'clock. We've been driving all day. And he said, yeah, as a matter of fact, what are you in the mood for? He started telling me about all the restaurants that were within walking distance, okay? And then he offered to give us a ride over there. I said, no, we'll walk, we got time. So they got us right in. They washed the car, okay? And then he gave me a $10 mail-in rebate for my oil change, okay, because of the type of oil that they used. And then when he called to tell us the truck was ready, they offered to come pick us up. Where are you? You need me to run over there and get you? Y'all all right? They saw me as an opportunity. Do you think they could have been $79.95 for the oil change? I would have paid it, and I would have been happy to pay it, because those people knew who was important, and they made us feel that way. And I think that that's what we got to remember to do, is to see everybody in our business as an opportunity. The guy that walks in this store at 4:55 with a set of plans deserves the same passion, the same level of energy, the same enthusiasm, the same everything as the guy that walks in at 8:15, in my opinion. I mean, I think that when I get that call at 6 o'clock at night about a property, I should show that person the same gratitude for calling me about potential business as the guy that calls me at 8 o'clock in the morning. Another thing I think that we need to do to close out the year strong is to give that little bit extra. That extra degree makes all the difference in the world. There's a great video, 212movie.com, and what it talks about is that water at 211 degrees, water's hot. But at 212 degrees, water boils. And from boiling water makes steam. And steam can power a locomotive. 1 degree. Over the last 10 years, in the Indianapolis 500 race, the average margin of victory was 1.5 seconds. 1.5 seconds. The average earnings for the first place winner over the last 10 years, $1.2 million, what they took home. Second place, less than half, or right at half, $627,000. 1.5 seconds, $600,000 difference in what the person took home. Just that extra degree. Everything that we should do in our business should be, and then some. That dealership I stopped at to get my oil change, I believe they understood that extra degree of effort, going the extra mile. Zig Ziglar said, it's never crowded on the extra mile. And if you don't believe that, go to Walmart, see how many cars are parked at the front. Me and my kids call the back of the parking lot the extra mile, because it's never crowded out there. And so, I think that when we take and apply all of the little bitty things, I saw Mike had written down all of the little things. Being prepared, not fumbling through what we want to do. When I go on a listing presentation, that's the game. All my practice should have been done and all my preparation before I got there. When I get in front of the customer, whether it's in your showroom or out in their house, or for me on a listing presentation, or when they come to my open house, that's the game. That's not the time to practice. That's when I got to be on, 100%. I got to be able to overcome the objection of the national franchise. I got to be able to overcome the objection of maybe going after my fee or selling my value of the services that I provide. And so I think if we really want to be the best at what we do, if we really have a desire and a passion to be the best at what we do, and I think you guys do, just obvious. You got a world-class facility here. Everybody knows you as phenomenal service and great products and all that sort of thing. I think if we truly have a desire to be the best, we've got to prepare like nobody else. We've got, Abraham Lincoln said, good things may come to those who wait, but only what's left behind by those who hustle. I want to be one of the guys that's hustling, that's out there getting it. And doing that by preparing, knowing my product, knowing my service. You know, one thing that people come after in my business is the fee. You're in a listing appointment and the guy says, well, Mike, you know, such and such over here says they'll list my house for 1% less or whatever the case may be, you know. And I say, Will, that really scares me. Because if they won't stand up for their money, how do you expect them to stand up for your money? So, you know, but that's an objection I learned. I didn't come up with that. I learned that by investing my time in reading and rehearsing scripts and dialogues and knowing the objections ahead of time that they were going to ask. And, you know, it's kind of like touching a hot stove. I guarantee you, has anybody ever touched a hot stove? Have you ever did it twice? If you have, don't raise your hand. But you know what? When you get there in front of the customer and they ask you something you're not prepared to answer, or they have an objection you're not prepared for, you know, I would come back. That's what I try to do. I come back and make a note of it, and I'm like, by golly, the next time that comes up, I'm going to overcome that objection without hesitation. I'm going to handle it with confidence and competence. And I just think that's important. That extra mile, that extra degree of effort. Michael Jordan, I'll kind of close out with this. I was watching something about Michael Jordan, and he was talking about failure. And in fact, it's a Nike commercial. And he said, you know, 9,000 shots. He's missed, you know, 9,000 shots. He's lost 300 games. You know, he said 300 times, you know, lost games. 26 times he was trusted to take the last second shot to win the game, and he failed. They missed. We don't remember the failures, but it's because of those failures that he succeeded. And so I just challenge everybody to give that extra effort, and let's do it together. You know, I want to have the best 5.5 months that I can have the rest of this year to close out strong. Doesn't matter where we are on the scoreboard right now. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is brand new from this day forward till December 31st. And just imagine if we do all these little things. I heard quotes several times at a seminar I went to in Los Angeles. He said, little hinges, and I had to think about you guys because you're in, but he said, little hinges swing big doors. Little hinges swing big doors. It's not the big stuff. Elephants don't bite you, but that mosquito will eat your butt up. And so it's the little bitty things that make us better. So anyway, I appreciate y'all letting me come this morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Yes, sir.